Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the introduction of English speech sounds and the modern English structure, paper number 9 and semester 5. We are dealing with the topic of intonation, and by intonation, it is the pitch change that we exhibit while uttering the English sentences. Every language is spoken with a varying pitch, and pitch is the number of times our vocal cords vibrate per second. Sometimes the pitch of our speech goes up, sometimes we go down, and sometimes it remains steady depending upon what we are saying. Different patterns of variation of the pitch of the voice constitute the intonation of a language. It refers to the patterns of variation of the pitch in human voice, which is also called as the tone that is used in utterances. Even though the native speakers maintain 6 different types of tones like the high fall and the high rise, low fall and the low rise, fall rise and the rise fall. For the convenience of the second language or the foreign language learners, 3 important tones are essential for practice. The first is the falling tone, the second is the rising tone, and the third is the fall rise tone. While intonating an utterance, there are 4 important steps that could be borne in mind for any English sentence. The very first is to divide the utterance into a tone group. Tone group is also called as a sense group because it carries a sense. The chunk of words that are included under tone group carries a sense. It is also called as the breath group because these group of words can be uttered in a single attempt without stopping for breath. Normally, if it is a simple sentence, smaller sentence, that falls into a single tone group, which is indicated by double slant lines in the beginning as well as in the end of the sentence. But if the sentence is quite bigger with a number of clauses, at every place we end the clause, we need to take a slight pause, which is indicated by the separation as a tone group. And in the middle of the sentence, if you are having many tone groups, these are indicated by single slant lines. Once the tone groups are identified, then we need to identify the stressed syllable in each tone group. In English, as we discussed, it is the content words that are stressed and the grammatical words are not stressed. By content words, we mean nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. Along with these, the WH pronouns or the interrogative pronouns, which are what, when, why, how, where, etc., that are stressed. So, interrogative pronouns are stressed, and along with this, we have the demonstrative pronouns also being stressed. And the demonstrative pronouns in English are this, that, these, those. So, the demonstrative pronouns, interrogative pronouns, and the content words like nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs are stressed. Whereas the grammatical items like pronouns, helping verbs, auxiliary verbs or the helping verbs, prepositions, conjunctions, and articles are normally not stressed. The exception to this rule is the auxiliary verb when present in a negative sentence along with the adverbial particle not will combine to form a contracted type of expression. Like do plus not is don't, will plus not is won't, shall plus not is shan't, can plus not is can't. Now, when we have these words with the negative particles, they are to be given the stress because of the presence of the adverb not. Other than this, normally the grammatical items remain unstressed unless in other ways we really want to emphasize the meaning of the grammatical word. The third step in intonating the sentence is to identify the nucleus or the tonic syllable within each tone group. In normal expressions, the last accented syllable within the tone group will become the nucleus. In the initial stages for practice, we need to underline the nucleus with the help of a pencil for our marking. Now, the nucleus can be any accented syllable within the tone group. If the tone group has more than one accented syllables, it could be any one of them depending upon the meaning that we want to communicate. But if the nucleus is in the middle of a tone group and we have the accented syllables after it within the same tone group, they receive the secondary accent which is indicated by a small apostrophe below and before the word. And all the stressed syllables that occur before the nucleus within the same tone group will receive the primary accent, which is indicated by a small apostrophe above and before the stressed syllable. Once the nucleus or the tonic syllable is identified, the fourth step is to give the appropriate tone, the rising tone, the falling tone, or the fall rise tone. In the previous video, we discussed the places which receive the falling tone. The falling tone is normally received by ordinary sentences without any implications. Number one. Number two, yes no type of sentence. Number two, questions, WH type of sentence. Number three, commands. Number four, exclamations. Number five, the question tags which normally receive the acceptance. In this video, let us talk about the places which receive the rising tone. The first place where the rising tone is given is the incomplete utterances. By incomplete utterances, we mean that if the sentence is quite big with more than one tone group, all the nuclei that are present within those tone groups that don't end with the full stop or the question mark will receive the rising tone. Supposing you have a sentence, if you come early, we shall go. Now this has got two clauses, and normally the idea of clauses and phrases will enable us to take the pauses at the appropriate intervals. The moment the bigger phrase completes or the clause completes, we need to take a pause. So we cannot utter this sentence very fast in a single attempt. If you come early, we will go. No, we cannot accentuate it in that way. But we have to take a pause after the subordinate clause gets over. If you come early, then you go to the main clause, we shall go. So the sentence has got two tone groups. If you come early and is divided by a single slant line indicating that the tone group has ended. We shall go, a second tone group. So in each tone group we require a nucleus. And let us analyze the first tone group. If you come early, if is a conjunction, not accented. You is a pronoun, not accented. Come is a verb, it is accented. So indicate the stress mark. Early is an adverb, it is accented. That also is indicated with a stress mark. Now in this utterance of if you come early, early is becoming the nucleus. So you underline it with a pencil. Now this should receive the tonic syllable. It's a tonic syllable that receives the tonic change, either the falling or the rising. Following the rule of incomplete utterances, because a sentence is not ending with a full stop or a question mark or an exclamation mark, but it continues further. And so you are just taking a pause, and hence early will receive a rising tone, which is indicated below and before the stress syllable. So if you come early, this automatically shows that the sentence has not come to an end. The second tone group is we shall go. Now, if we analyze this following the same rules, we is a pronoun, not stressed, shall is a helping verb, not stressed, and go is a transitive main verb, it is stressed. Only one stressed syllable is there, so it becomes the nucleus itself, and that will receive a falling tone because after go we are putting a full stop and the sentence is coming to an end. So if you come early, you shall go. Early, you raise up. Go, you fall down. Similarly, is the next sentence. Though he is rich, he is very simple. Now, though he is rich is the subordinate clause, the clause of concession. So, mark the tone group over there with a single slant line, dividing them into two tone groups. If you look at the first tone group, though is a conjunction, not stressed. He is a pronoun, not stressed. Is a helping verb, not stressed. And rich is an adjective, yes, it is stressed. Now the entire tone group has got a single stress syllable, so that it itself becomes the nucleus, and it will receive a rising tone because the sentence is still further continued into the next part. He is very simple is the next tone group, and in this, he is the pronoun, not stressed. Is the helping verb, not stressed. Very is adverb, so stressed, and simple is adjective, so stressed. So very simple. Two stressed syllables are there in the second tone group. Now simple could be labeled as the nucleus, and you could say is very simple. Fall down. Simple will take the falling tone because the sentence is ending with a full stop. So though he is rich, The moment you raise up in your speech, it automatically indicates that it is an incomplete utterance. Though he is rich is very simple. The second place where the rising tone is received is yes no type of sentences. All WH type of sentences normally will receive the falling tone. What is your name? Where are you going? Etc. But the yes no type of sentences, which begin with the helping verbs, will receive the rising tone. As you could find in the examples, will you come tomorrow? Are they eating? Have you read the book? Is they alone? Is he alone? So in all these examples, we could find that a rising tone has been given because they belong to the yes no type of category. The third place which receives the rising tone is WH questions, but with an attached emotion or feeling, with a warm friendliness or friendly meaning. How are you, child, today? How are you, child? How receives the tone? How receives the stress, and child will receive a rising tone. In spite of the fact that it is beginning with a WH word, it doesn't come into the category of the falling tone because it has got an emotion attached. Where is your mother, dear? Dear, the attachment of dear will make it sound more friendly, more polite. So, where is your mother, dear? You raise up. Dear will show a sort of concern. Where is your mother, dear? You don't say because it doesn't express your emotion. Wherever the WH words are used or questions are used, but with a warm and friendly emotional attachment, you receive the rising tone. The third place where the rising tone is observed is polite request. For commands, we said it is the falling tones. For requests, it is rising tone. It is in fact the change of our tone that will distinguish whether it is a command or a request in the spoken language. Right? Stop talking. If you fall down, it's a command. Stop talking. If you raise up, it becomes a request. So pass the salt, please. Pass the salt, please. You raise up. Open the window. Open the window. If you fall down, it's a command. Open the window. If you raise up, it becomes a request. The next place where the rising tone is used is for the question tags, where the speaker maybe accept the suggestion given by the listener, or maybe the listener may accept it or reject it. So the question tags where the speaker expects that his or her listener may disagree with him, you use a rising tone, right? You are a gardener, aren't you? Now we all know from the previous expression itself, you are a gardener. A tone is to be divided. Aren't you? The tag will have a different tone. So you are a gardener. You fall down. Aren't you? If you raise up, I'm asking a question, and I expect that the person who is standing in front of me might be a gardener, might not be. You're a gardener, aren't you? You're falling down. It would mean that I know you're a gardener. And I expect my listener to agree with me. You're a gardener, aren't you? If I raise up, it would mean that he may be a gardener or maybe he is the owner of the house. It was a good book, wasn't it? It was a good book. Falling down, wasn't it? Would mean that you may agree with me, you may not agree with me. Now, there are two types here. You can give a rising tone to the book and gardener also in these examples. Why? Because they belong to the category of incomplete utterances, as it is, the sentence is still followed by the tag. So, you can give a falling tone and give a rising tone only to the tag. You can give a rising tone in the main sentence also and to the tag also. So, you can pronounce the same as, you are a gardener, aren't you? Both places you are rising up. To make it more polite, you're a gardener, aren't you? Is a better expression. It was a good book, wasn't it? You can raise that book also and wasn't it also. But a more polite expression, it was a good book. You follow down. Wasn't it? You're just expecting your speaker, your listener to agree or disagree with you. So question tags where the speaker expects a sort of disagreement from the listener's side also might receive the rising tone. The next place where the rising tone is used is for the various alternative questions that we provide in our speech. Many a times you provide the alternatives to your listeners. Supposing somebody comes to your house, you might ask, would you like to have some tea, coffee, or milk? For all the alternatives that you are providing, excepting the last, they receive the rising tone, and the last alternative that you are providing will receive the falling tone. Shall we go by train, bus, or a taxi? So for taxi, you fall down. All the alternatives that you're providing, like train and bus, you raise up. For how many other alternatives we have? For all the alternatives that we are providing, we raise up, excepting the last, because the last fits into the category of the very first rule that we said for the falling tone. Complete sentences. It ends with a full stop. So the rising tone is given for all the alternatives. Would you like to write with a pen, pencil, or a sketch? For sketch, we fall down. Pen, we rise. Pencil, we rise. Shall we go by walk, or auto, or a rickshaw, or a bus, or by tram? For tram, you fall down. For all the other alternatives that you're providing, you raise up. That's a very interesting place where the rising tone is received. Another place where rising tone is given is for the counting of the things, which we call as enumeration of things. Enumeration is counting. Many a times, maybe for counting the money, or for counting the number of pages, or counting the number of students, counting the number of fruits that we are eating, vegetables that we are buying, we need to count. And whenever we count, all the counts will receive a rising tone, excepting the last one. The last one will receive a falling tone. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and the moment you say and, 10, you fall down. The last alternative will receive the falling tone. All the other enumerated things, counted things, will receive the rising tone. So you will not say 1, 2, 3. You will not fall down. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You fall down. The rising tone also is given to the greetings, especially associated with partings and a bit of apologies. This is a special place where the rising tone is used to make it sound more polite. So, hello, hello is your answer. Hello is the speaker's question. Goodbye, goodbye. I'm sorry, raise up. I'm sorry, we'll have a genuine tone if you raise up. I'm sorry is a matter of fact way. Right? I'm sorry. The moment you raise up, it shows a sort of involved feeling and genuinity. So for greetings and partings and apologies also, many a times the rising tone is used. Thus, in this video, we saw where the rising tone is to be used. Number 1, for the incomplete utterances. Number 2, for the yes-no type of sentences. Number 3, the WH type of sentences but with a warm and friendly feeling. Number 4, the polite requests will take up rising tone. Number 5, the enumeration of things or the counting of things. Number 6, the alternatives that we are providing in our speech. Number 7, the question tags, where the speaker is not sure whether the listener will agree. And number 8, maybe you could also use the rising tone for apologies and so on, and partings and so on. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Let's meet in the next video, and bye for now.